Hey y'all, Mike here with Raider Dog Ranch. I'm going to experiment with something today that I've been wanting to try for a while. I've never played with it, and it is fire starters. You can buy these fire starters in little packs that are pre-made, but I saw Dan from Coal Cracker Bushcraft do this. Shout out to Dan. Not a friend of mine, but I enjoy watching his channel. Kind of making these homemade, and I thought, what a good idea. Most people have these things around the house, so why not try to give it a shot? What you need is some paraffin wax or cooking wax, same thing you would put in baking. Some cotton pads. Now I do have a question about these pads. They have this little seam stitched around them, so I don't know, but you see they rip just fine. So I think they're going to work fine. We need some tongs or something to take them out of the wax because we're going to melt that wax and make it really hot. And I noticed that Dan added a little lighter fluid to his. Not everybody does that, but I figure why not make it a little more ignitable with a spark. And then I've got the foil here to lay them on when they dry. So we're going to get a little fire started and start melting down this wax. But before we get started, go ahead and smash that like button. You might actually enjoy the video and you've already saved yourself some time. You see, I just used an old vegetable can from the kitchen. Nothing special to melt that wax in. Based on the research I've done, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. You really don't have to use kitchen wax or paraffin wax. I've seen people use candles or a mix of candles and paraffin. Wax is just a good way to hang on to a fire and slow down the burn. And if you got the fibers in the cotton, then that's what's going to help you start the fire. So it's really all just a combination of things. You can also use cotton balls and petroleum jelly. Those are really good, but I don't want to go that direction because it's just really messy. You need to keep them in some kind of a sealed bag, Ziploc or something. And if that bag were to come loose, you're going to get petroleum jelly all in your go bag or whatever you're keeping them in. So I like this idea. They should be able to store pretty well in a small container that I've got in mind. So we're going to see how this goes. You can also add some color to the wax, just to give it kind of a tint other than the white. But we're just going to go with the basic white. All right, so we got our melted wax. We're going to add some lighter fluid to your discretion. And we're just going to take these and dip them. They don't need to stay in very long. Just all you're doing is getting them saturated with that wax. All right, you can see I went off camera and I added some more. I just wanted to use all of the wax that I had. That was one block of the Gulf wax that comes in the package. And you can see that gave me about a dozen or so. We'll give these a few minutes to dry and then we'll test it and see how it goes. Okay, I've been letting them sit up for probably about 10 minutes now. You can see I moved them off of the tin. It just kind of kept them a little too warm this way. It's they get a little breeze underneath them too. I thought that would help them harden a little bit faster. So they're like chips now. They're definitely not like cotton anymore. Some of them were puffed up. You could see when I was putting them in the solution, they would puff up, and they continued to stay puffed. So I went through and patted them down because we're going to want them to be pretty flat for storage. but it feels like they got saturated pretty well. So what you're going to want to do is take this and kind of pull it apart and start to expose those fibers. The fibers are what's going to catch the spark. I'll move these out of the way. Let's see if I can do this without smacking the camera. Turn this around. Well, that wasn't as easy as I expected it to be. But it was easier than trying to spark just ferro. And you're going to see that's going to burn really slowly. So if I wanted to build a fire around that, I'm not going to, but if I wanted to build a fire around this, it's going to give me plenty of time to start stacking my small sticks. And you really don't even need a bird's nest for this. You didn't have to connect you didn't have to go out and build a bird's nest. So it definitely saves some time. Makes your fire starting a little easier, but you do want to prep for this before you go out on your camping trip or survival trip or whatever you got planned. This kind of thing you want to do ahead of time and have in your kit. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. It really does help the channel. And go ahead and subscribe too, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos come out. After I recorded this video, I went back and measured the burn time, and this thing burned for 4 minutes. There are not many solutions that are going to give you a 4-minute burn time, so that's a really good return. The way I've decided to store these is with a little pellet canister. Makes for a pretty secure container. There's 5 there, 6. I can probably fit 7 or 8. You can go with some taller things. I've seen people use, you can use Pringle cans. I don't know if I love that idea there because they're soft-sided. You can use some, the little praline, I think they're called. Little chocolatey sticks. Those, that works pretty well. Yeah, I got it a thread there. So yeah, I can hold 8. If you got any ideas on a metal can that is a little deeper, about twice that deep, then that probably would be even better. If you could carry about a dozen of these, you'd be in good shape. I didn't have to use that entire thing. You know, you could rip these into quarters or, you know, whatever you decide. Depends on your situation if you really need to make them last. So if you made fire starters like this, drop them in the comments. Let me know how you modified it. If you used colored wax or if you found that the wax itself is good enough. I was surprised that these didn't start a little easier based on the lighter fluid that I added. So maybe there's really not that much difference. I haven't compared the two. It just made sense to me to go ahead and put some starter in there with it. So yeah, go ahead and drop your comments in the comments section. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.